Hey everyone, it's Liz bringing you another painting tutorial. This time we're going over a southwestern style nightscape. It's a fairly easy painting project. You'll need a canvas, a pencil, a cup of water and a rag or paper towel, paint brushes, a toothbrush, a palette or paper plate, and paints. A varied color palette is needed here. To start, you're just going to draw lines with peaks from one side of the page to the other. These peaks are going to be your mountains. Give your lines varied heights and plenty of bumps. It's up to you how many sets of lines you make, but they should come up your page at least halfway. I'm going to do a few lines that don't quite make it all the way across too. They just sort of dead end where another mountain begins. Since this is a moonscape, I'm going to use the inside of the roll of tape I used to tape down my Canva paper to trace where I want my moon to be. You can use the bottom of a drinking glass or a coaster, whatever you have lying around. I'm going to paint my night sky first using a teal color, some dark green, and a dark purple. No, I'm not using black, because once the dark green and purple mix, it's going to give you a nice dark color without opening another tube of paint. Most of this exercise is practice blending colors. So here, I'm going to start by painting around the moon with that teal. It's the lighter color and will make it look like the moon has a nice glow. Once I'm done working the paint out about an inch or two away from the moon, I'm going to slowly blend in some of that green. In order to get a nice blend, you want to use a long, slow stroke and ensure that your paint is still wet enough to blend properly. If the color starts to frustrate you, rinse off your brush and add more color where needed. It's okay if the sky looks a bit streaky here. The streaks actually lend to the illusion that the moon is glowing. Now that you have your green blended well, you're going to want to start adding your purple. I believe the exact shade of this one is dioxine purple, but most purples would work. If you find yourself fighting with the area where you're blending your green into your purple, rinse your brush and go to the area between the two colors with a clean, damp brush. I'm going to add more green to my palette and mix it in with what I have left of the purple. It's going to give me an even darker color to blend in around the furthest edges. I'm making my moon a bright yellow to make it really stand out. If you want to wait until the sky is finished drying to paint this area, you'll avoid any possible blending with that turquoise color. I didn't have too much trouble with anything and trudged onward. With your moon complete, it's time to move on to the mountains. Each section of mountain is going to be the combination of two colors that are blended in the middle. It's your chance to play with colors, which is one of my favorite things to do. This first mountain crest, I'm going to start painting yellow. I'm trying to work quickly to get the first color on and add the second, because it's a lot easier to blend when both colors are still damp. If I take too long to set up, the sections will have dried and that nice transition from color to color won't happen. I'm going to paint the bottom of this mountain range orange. Once I'm done with the orange, I'm going to clean my brush. With that damp but not dripping brush, I'm going to use long, even brush strokes to blend the two colors. It's harder than it looks. Don't get mad if things get streaky here, because these are mountains. The rock has natural striations. So really, mountains are naturally streaky. I'm going to continue on choosing two colors for each area I outlined with my pencil. I'm going to wash my brush between applying each color. And I'm going to use my clean, damp brush to blend. The only pointer I would give when choosing your colors is to try to stay relatively in the same color family for each mountain. To make it easy, think about the color order of the rainbow. Yellow is next to orange, orange is next to red, blue is next to green. You get the idea. You can vary from that as much as you want. This is your canvas and your painting. But you might get stuck with a lot of browns if you try mixing, say, oranges and greens. Once your mountains are painted completely, it's time for those finishing touches. With a small brush and some white paint, trace over the lines you made for the peaks of your mountain range, making the lines as even as you can. With that same detail brush, go ahead and add some white dots in the darker area of your night sky. If you're super into constellations, you can throw a few in there and get fancy. I simply went with a few clusters that had relatively even spacing. Okay, remember I said you'd need a toothbrush? It wasn't to brush your teeth. Though dental hygiene is very important. It's to add stars and a sprinkle of texture to the painting. Now, some of us did this trick in grade school, but if it's been a while, I would recommend some practice on a separate piece of paper. You want to have a mastery over how much spray you're going to apply before you're doing this on the actual canvas. Dip your toothbrush into your water and then mix the bristles around in the white paint. You want it to coat the bristles, but avoid the paint dripping off. Then apply pressure and flick the bristles with your thumb. This will give you a white flecked effect. It makes it look as if there are smaller stars in the sky, and it gives that cool texture to your mountains. I'm going to do a lot of this because I love the look. However much you add is up to you. If you get a bigger dollop of paint than you wanted, just lightly dab that area with a paper towel. It should clear everything up. That's it, your mountain nightscape. Thanks so much for watching. Feel free to follow me on YouTube or check out my Patreon for extra bonus goodies. Until next time, rock out and paint on.